In this lesson, we're going to look at communication and why cells need to communicate. So as a review, remember, active transport moves stuff using energy. And so what is communication? Communication is the passing of information from one thing to another. And this can be organisms or it can be cells. And so an organism may be communicating with another organism and its cells are communicating in order to actually make that happen. So why is it important? For organisms need to be able to work in a group. They need to be able to find food. They need to be able to protect themselves from predators. Communication is very important in all three of these things. So here's an example of working together in order to protect the young. They create this big circle in case so predators can't get at their babies. These orca are using complex communication in order to coordinate their hunt for this seal. Why is it important to cells? Cells also have to work together. They create organs that have to be doing complex functions all at the same time in a coordinated way. And when this communication system breaks down, that is one of the things that results in cancer. So here we have two cells. And normally they're communicating with each other. So one cell tells the other one, you know what, don't divide, we don't need anybody else right now. And then that cell say, yep, I got it, and won't divide. But let's say there's a mutation that causes, that's a cancer mutation. And it basically knocks out this communication. Now, this cell is still going to say, hey, guy, don't divide. But instead, the other cell is going to say, you know what, I'm going to do what I want. Nobody can tell me what to do. And so he's going to start to divide. And divide. And divide. And it's dividing out of control and creating a tumor. And so this is really how cancer works. Cells that have lost the ability to communicate with others and basically just go rogue and do their own thing. So how does communication work? Well, in organisms we have three basic ways: vocal, body language, and chemical. And when we're talking about chemicals, we're really talking about pheromones. And I'm sure you've probably heard about this before. So here's an example of wolves howling using their vocal communication skills. These fish are actually using their body language and body position in order to pack themselves into this tight ball. And these ants are following each other because they're laying down these chemical trails as they go along. That's why when one ant gets in your house, there's a whole bunch more coming because they're just following the trail that first ant left. Now in cells, we generally use hormones. These are things like insulin, dopamine, adrenaline. These are chemicals that are used to signal to other cells what to do. So for example, in this neural communication pathway, you have one neuron that is going to communicate with another. It's going to pass a signal across. So we have these hormones, and then these hormones are released, and they attach to these receptor proteins, and that sends the signal down the next neuron. And so in that way, your brain or your nervous system can control how signals are passed through it.